Hey, what are you doing? Why are you making so much noise?
Do what I want
Hey,
on my breaks. Ain't gotta listen to what Roger thinks.
hey man, break's over. You gotta get back to work. You got a lot of stuff to do today.
Doing inventory, Roger. Can't help you right now.
Okay, well after inventory, I'm gonna need you to go outside, scoop the walk. You gotta unclog the toilet. I'm gonna need you to mop the adult section. Then you also gotta clean out the mouse traps. And then when you're done with all that, there's this homeless lady out back. You gotta chase her away. Be careful though. She bites.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I'm leaving.
You don't need to go home. Stop. No.
I need to urinate.
You don't need to go home to go pee.
I'm leaving.
No. Sit down. Finish what you're doing. Pee here. Well, I guess since he's got a giant laundry list of stuff to do, we could maybe talk about a movie. Hello, internet fans. Welcome to 3B Video. I'm your host, Rotten Roger DeMarco. And today, we're going to be talking about Norman J. Warren's 1987 film, Bloody New Year. So here is your plot synopsis. You've got a group of 5 teenagers who take a boat ride, and then when their boat starts to sink, they head to the nearest land that they can find. And on that land is this hotel that is seemingly set up for a Christmas party, even though this is July. This group of teenagers starts to look around this hotel, and then they discover not all is what it seems. I don't want to spoil too much about this movie, but it's an awesome twist on the haunted house, haunted hotel, haunted whatever the fuck genre. Super rad. But before we get into my overall thoughts of the film, first, let's take a look at Ryan Rogers! Splatter facts. We have 9 dead bodies. We have 0 titties. I know, I'm just as shocked as the rest of you. We have 1 bleeding crystal ball, overly dramatic boat sinking, a ghost vacuum, 1 moaning fishnet, laughing ghost POV, a tablecloth sludge ghoul, an indoor snowstorm, shotgun dismemberment, exploding ghost pilot, and gratuitous reverse footage. The methods of death include and basically are limited to scratched by a ghost, off screen,
I've about had it with these motherfucking off screens in these motherfucking movies.
thrown off a cliff, the double head twist, elevator food, pressure cooked, propellered, and swallowed. Okay, so now on to my overall thoughts of this film. Like I said in the synopsis, this is a very fun, weird take on the haunted house subgenre. This is just one of those really odd movies that would capture you at the video store with the cover art like this, and it kind of came and went. Some people were lucky enough to see it and other people just passed it by. But now since Vinegar Syndrome has put out this Blu-ray, it's more accessible and everyone can finally get to see what all the hubbub is about. And this movie quickly became a staple in my library because it's so weird. That's just really the best way that I can put it when I have to discuss this movie, is that it is just bug nuts bonkers, to quote my good buddy in the back, Evil. This movie pulls out all the stops. It's very weird. It's very dreamlike. This is just a wild, fun ride of a movie. It does do one of my favorite horror movie tropes where people who find an abandoned house or abandoned whatever seem to just make themselves right at home. It's a very weird thing for characters to just walk into a house. Once they realize that no one's around, they just take full advantage of it. Oh, well, I'm gonna change into some clothes out of a room. I'm gonna fix myself some food. I'm gonna grab a blanket, whatever. It's the old, Goldilocks and the 3 Bears thing. You just come on in and help yourself to whatever the fuck you want, and then you gotta face the consequences type of thing with this movie. And I also love in this movie that the characters are so dismissive of the things that are truly horrifying. Things that would send a normal person screaming out of a building, these people just accept and deal with. Oh, there's a fucking ghost band playing, and then when I acknowledge them, they look at me and disappear. I better not tell the girls. I might freak them out. Go play some pool. Ghost vacuum chasing me? That's fine. That's normal, right? A very strange film that needs to be seen to believed. a fun twist on this kind of subgenre because these ghosts are not like your traditional ghosts in films. There literally is a tablecloth monster. Techno music and laughing ghosts leaving footprints in the sand. A very helpful ghost maid, although everyone else is trying to kill you. It's a weird mishmash mix of a ghost movie. It truly is not like any other ghost film that I have ever seen. It's just so out there. You're not really sure what's real, what's a dream, what has happened, what was just imagined. It has a very Elm Street-like quality when it comes to things like this. You're just not sure what to believe. What's on screen, what you believe, what's really happening. And it can kind of mess with you and disorient you a little bit when you're watching this movie. And I think that that's a great thing to have in a film about the paranormal or the spirit world. You, the viewer, should not be sure what was real, what was imagined, because the characters in the movie aren't sure what's real and what's imagined. And that's a fun thing for a movie to be able to accomplish. You know how most horror films have a tendency to have a little bit of bad acting in them. That's just par for the course, especially when you're digging through the trenches and finding these weird off-kilter films. This movie has this fantastic range of completely overacting and completely underacting. And it's hilarious because it's completely unintentional. And I also think that towards the end of this film, I mean, we're getting one type of horror film for the majority of the film. And then at some point towards the final act, it sort of switches gears and gives us this complete Evil Dead vibe. And I'm not sure if this movie was being filmed and then Evil Dead came out and the people who were making this movie said, that's what we gotta do. We gotta do some weird camera angles. We gotta do some weird possession things and, you know, fountains of blood and all this weird stuff. I'm not sure, but in my opinion, somewhere along the line, this movie got influenced by Evil Dead in a big way. Can I confirm nor deny? No, I cannot. You let me know what you think. Is this movie influenced by Evil Dead? Or did this movie influence Evil Dead? I think this came out after. I think that this movie is one of a kind when it comes to these haunted house films because it's so different. But while it manages to be so different and be its own thing, it sort of borrows a lot from the Elm Street franchise. It borrows from Evil Dead. It borrows from stuff like House. And it borrows stuff from The Shining. A lot of that stuff is here, but when it's combined into the soup pot, I suppose, it makes a completely different animal. And this movie is fucking weird and fucking fun, and I can't recommend it enough. Especially since Vinegar Syndrome put this Blu-ray out now, I think is the perfect time for this film to find an audience, because I feel like it's been slept on for a very long time. There are pockets of people who grew up with this movie, but this movie deserves to be in everyone's library. It deserves to be seen, it deserves to be rediscovered and enjoyed, because it's a lot of fun. It's a time capsule of a very specific time with mom and pop video stores getting really weird foreign films that have this Peter Jackson, video nasty, disgusting vibe to them that just kind of fell by the wayside. And it's important to rediscover and love them. In my personal opinion, this movie is 100% popcorn as fuck. Because where else are you gonna see a ghost vacuum, a tablecloth sludge monster, a bunch of weird possession things, and tons of ridiculous acting? I mean, this is just a movie that begs for you to see it. And I really enjoy it, and I think that you will too. But I suppose I should probably get going, because after all, there's a lot of movies out there. Somebody's got to watch them. So why not me, right? Yeah. I wonder if he's even doing anything back there. Useless. He's a lazy motherfucker.
Working sucks, working sucks.